in the state of Oregon. And it is an honor to be standing here with your next governor, John Kitzhaber. First of all, say that, look, I've got a special place in my heart for him. My best friend from high school lives in Eugene and is a big Ducks fan. Tickets. I'm always getting some email from them about how good they're doing. Congratulations. Now, on the other hand, my brother-in-law happens to be the coach of the Beavers. But I'm not confused. I root for them both. I've got the whole state covered. We've got some wonderful guests here. You may have heard from a couple of them, but I want to make sure that you hear that I have a chance to introduce them. First of all, your outstanding senior senator, Ron Wyden, is in the house. Your outstanding junior senator, Jeff Merkley, is here. My great friend and one of my earliest supporters who always has that little bike thing on his lapel. Earl Blumenauer is here. One of his outstanding partners in the House of Representatives who's doing a great job, David Wu. I want all the press to be clear, they were saying Wu. Secretary of State, Kate Brown is here. State Treasurer Ted Wheeler is here. Attorney General Kroger is here. Let's talk about this governor's race for a second. This should not be a difficult choice. I know you have a race where both candidates are talking about change. But there's only one candidate who's actually delivered change, and that's John Kitzhaber. When John, you know John's track record. When John was governor, this economy grew, created more than 120,000 new jobs. When John was governor, he increased access to health care for thousands of children. When John was governor, he invested in education and improved Oregon's public schools. When John was governor, he protected the environment of one of the most beautiful states in the nation. I have heard that John is an outstanding fly fisherman. Another reason to vote for him. That's why he cares about the environment so much. He's out there. And if you send in your ballot for John, this state will continue to be on the cutting cutting edge of America's future. Here is a guy who's already done the job and done it well. After John last served as governor, he was a national leader on health care. He could have gone anywhere, he could have done anything, but he chose to stay here because his commitment to Oregon is personal. As an emergency room doctor, as a legislator, as a governor, as a father, he spent his life fighting for the people of Oregon. That's why you need him again. I'm getting the cold. I'm actually getting over it, but you know, I would suspect by the end of this speech, I am going to be hoarse. But I know it won't matter because you are going to be fired up, even if in less than 2 weeks, you can set the direction of this state and this country, not just for the next 2 years, but for the next 4 years, not just for the next 10 years, for the next 20 years. Just like you did in 2008, you can defy the conventional wisdom. Yes, you can. Because you know what the conventional wisdom always is. They say you can't overcome the cynicism of politics. No, you can't overcome the special interests. No, you can't overcome the big money. No, you can't overcome the negative ads. No, you can't. No, you can't. No, you. There's always somebody out there saying, no, you can't. But in 2 weeks, you got a chance to say, yes, we can. Now, I want to be clear, though. There's no doubt this is a difficult election. I know you guys love your trailblazers. That's okay. And we've been through an incredibly difficult time as a nation. But I want you to think about how we got here. For most of the last decade, middle-class families saw their incomes actually fall. Between 2001 and 2009, the average middle-class family saw their income fall 5% when the other party was in charge. We had the most sluggish job growth since the Great Depression in those 8 years when the other party was in charge. Meanwhile, your cost of health care skyrocketed. Your costs of sending your kids to college skyrocketed. Too many jobs were shipped overseas. Too many parents weren't sure whether if their child got sick, they could send them to a doctor. Americans were working 2 jobs or 3 jobs just to make ends meet. And then all of this finally culminated in the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. And I want everybody to understand that this recession started long before I took office. We lost 4 million jobs in the 6 months before I was sworn in. 750,000 the month I was sworn in, 600,000 the month after that, 600,000 the month after that. We lost almost 8 million jobs, most of them lost before any of our could put into place. You would have thought that given the crisis, when we got to Washington, Democrats and Republicans would come together. We'd put politics aside and deal with this once-in-a-generation challenge. I hoped, I expected that we could move beyond the game playing and the partisanship and the bickering that had dominated for Washington so long, roll up our sleeves and get to work. Because although we are proud to be Democrats, we are prouder to be Americans. But the Republican leaders in Washington, they made a different decision.
They're not.
Now, here's what they calculated. And I understand it was a clever political calculation. They said to themselves, boy, we made such a big mess. We are in such a deep hole that it's going to take everything Obama's got just to try to get us out of it. It's going to take some time to repair the economy. Folks are going to be frustrated and angry. And if we just sit on the sidelines and oppose Obama and Democrats every step of the way, if we say no even to the policies that traditionally we've supported to help small businesses or to cut taxes, then maybe we can ride people's anger and frustration. They'll forget that we were the ones who caused this thing in the first place. In other words, Oregon, their working theory was, the basis of their campaign is amnesia. They figure you're going to forget. Because you're angry about the situation. I understand that, but make no mistake, this election isn't about anger. It's not about fear. This election is a choice. And the stakes could not be higher. If they win this election, then you know that the other guy's priorities are going to be different than John's. Nationally, if they win this election, the chair of the Republican Campaign Committee promised to pursue the exact same agenda that they did before I took office. Know what this agenda is. I mean, there are no surprises here, unless you've forgotten, unless you're suffering from amnesia. Let's see. We'll cut taxes for millionaires and billionaires. That's part of the agenda. We will cut rules for special interests, including polluters.